place in Toco Sangre Grande, in San Fernando West, and in St. Joseph. And then the others will take place tomorrow, I believe.
So today's total sign. Based on the outcome of those recounts, is anything else being considered by way of say election petition?
Again, well, we're at the point right now of the recounts. We're also at the point of putting forward all of the irregularities that we would have noted, and this is across all seats, and then we will appraise you of any decision after that. But the point we're at right now is that of the recounts in these 5 seats.
Okay. Give us an idea of what type of what kind of gaps in terms of voting, because some people are of the opinion that it has been said that if the vote count is say 100 or over, that maybe a recount may not make too much of a statistical difference.
Well, the recounts exist in our system for a reason, and we are going to utilize them. So that's where we're at right now. But we want to also put it very clearly in the space of the absence of election observers. We do not want that conversation to get lost at all. We requested election observers. We want the irregularities to be understood in the space where there were no independent observers.
Right. But this is not in any way suggesting that the EBC wasn't doing its job.
No, it is to suggest that there were no observers at the elections.
Based on the recount, let's say the recount don't vote in favor of the party. What's the observers is what you're all basing a claim on?
No. So we have the recounts in the seats, the 5 seats that I indicated. We also have the list of irregularities. And then so we are going to approach the EBC with the list of irregularities, which will be shared with you in due course. Our legal teams are in process of compiling our data. We are not going to go about this in a piecemeal fashion. You get one thing today, a new thing tomorrow. You'll get the total list of irregularities when we have it. They will be backed up by the information coming from our polling station, our station diaries, our legal teams in each constituency. We are going about this in a very deliberate manner because we understood, and that's why I brought up the election observers, because we understood that we had to be very careful, very deliberate, and like I said, very, very careful in the context of having no election observers for the 2020 elections.
You said you will notice discrepancies that you're going to share with the EBC first, right?
Yes.
And then you said irregularities across all seats. This list includes, you'll have across all 41 and not just the one.
39. We ran in 39 seats.
Sorry, 39. So these issues are across all.
In some cases, yes. Yes. Correct. Correct.
There was a Facebook post that was being shared when it was alleged that the candidate Faris Al-Rawi was seen entering an EBC office in Maribel. Is this one of the irregularities you all have highlighted?
We have seen it. We intend to raise it, yes.
Could you share some more details on any of the irregularities?
I would rather not at this moment. As I said before, the process should be, and I think everybody can understand that it goes to the EBC, we'll share it with the media. There's no secret in this, right? But we're just following a very clear process. But we wanted to keep you appraised of the situation, which is that as it stands, we are awaiting the recount. We have not conceded, and we will go from there.
On a slightly separate issue, one of the developments coming out of yesterday's outcome was today 2 leaders of 2 parties have stepped down. Basically, have stepped down after the election was over, basically saying that, well, they don't feel that they have the confidence of their members and so on and so forth. But basically, such a question of confidence in the leadership, that is not an issue which arises for the UNC.
It does not.
So there's still full confidence in the
Absolutely. Absolutely. Correct.
I just want to ask a little directly. Following 2015 loss by the UNC, there was that issue that people had asked for Mr. Sati Sessom to step down. Similar sentiments were shared last night that maybe that would have led to 2019. If this recount is not going in favor of the UNC, are you at all considering that?
The United National Congress has very clear internal processes in terms of how our leadership is chosen. Our leadership was elected with a very huge mandate. And when our elections are due, we will have elections. But until then, the question of leadership does not arise in the UNC. We have full confidence in the political leader of the United National Congress.
Exactly how often are leadership elections?
So our political leadership for our political leaders next year?
Next year.
Next year, 2021.
And the party is not scheduled to hold any internal elections of any kind this year for any post. Would that be fair to say?
They are not due. They are not due.
Sorry?
We haven't scheduled any.
We have no scheduled internal elections at this moment.
Is it a case of say 2021 is when his successor is supposed to be up for re-election?
Correct.
Is it that other executive posts be up at the same time or just that particular post?
Just that post.
Just that one.
Correct.
And others are scheduled
A little later on,
subsequently
yes,
after that.
correct.
I would have noticed last night when the Prime Minister gave his address, his victory speech at Valley House, a lot of people at the Hoover office weren't even aware. A lot of numbers not even coming into the UNC headquarters.
Correct. Well, that's another thing that we will raise, which is that by the time the Prime Minister declared his victory, I don't know that any of us, had any numbers. We were still waiting on polling divisions to come in. A number of people were still waiting on count. So, I mean, I don't know where they got their numbers from to declare so early, but they did in fact declare. And as I said, we chose not to concede. So the declaration of the Prime Minister declaring himself Prime Minister, Keith Rowley declaring himself Prime Minister seemed a bit premature. But we are waiting the results of recounts on our end.
I wanted to ask as well, apart from these particular matters that you all are looking at right now, I mean, is there going to be any type of postmortem regarding the elections outcome and preparations for the whenever the parliament is going to be? Because I mean, quite a few of the MPs coming in are new. And some of you have senatorial experience and others.
We are a very well-run political institution. Yes, we will have our postmortem. We hold our meetings. We continue our pace. We are very focused on ensuring that the people of Trinidad and Tobago are well served. So yes, we'll have a postmortem. We will have meetings. We are a political institution that is committed to the service of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. So yes, of course.
Are you satisfied with the response that was given last night by the EDC's chief elections officer when she said that people did not wait for 4 hours at the San Fernando West Bellevue? Yes, even though we interviewed people.
Listen, yeah.
It was the social distancing protocols. Were you all satisfied with that?
Absolutely not. I mean, listen, this idea of people seeing things happening and then being told that it did not happen, well, we've seen that across the board. Anybody that was in that polling station knew exactly what happened yesterday. So, no, we're not satisfied with the answer because we know it to be inaccurate.
Could you also explain why Mrs. Prasad Bissessa is addressing the press conference today?
Mrs. Prasad Bissessa addressed last night the party. We held a meeting today, and I am the Public Relations Officer of the United National Congress. It's actually, in fact, my job to address the press. Yeah?
She was part of those discussions today.
Yes.
Did you all expect such a result?
No.
What do you think would have led to that?
The results? A number of things, I guess, but we are waiting the recount in 5 seats. So I can't discuss the results until I have the recount.
And you've taken this matter all the way to the court?
Again, let's await the results of the recount and then we'll take the next steps. I was very clear to say that we will take deliberate steps based on the information we have at the time. I don't want to engage in speculation. I don't want to be premature in our deliberations. We have information in front of us right now. We said we would write to the EBC. We have the recounts. We'll go from there. And all of you know how to touch base with me at any given time. We will stay in touch and I will keep you appraised of the situation as we go forward. But this is where we're at right now.
And it was just a few hours since the results. Any update in terms of the further legal action against Mr. Padaris?
Oh, no, I think after they finish, make the little bacchanal and I think they're done with that. You know?
That's
Mhm.
just a PR.
Yeah, I think.
It was a PR.
And the recounts in terms of the numbers, right? Correct. So the recounts in those 5 seats, it made sense for us to have recounts in those 5 seats in terms of where we would have seen irregularities otherwise, but given the numbers, we would raise them, but it didn't make sense to ask for a recount in those seats. Yes?
Did
Can you repeat that?
That people in Barataria were being paid $1,000 to change their vote for the PNL. Did you all get any such information?
No. Share that with mother. Yes. You can write that down now, I guess.
How many irregularities have you all listed?
Quite a few.
Specific numbers.
Quite a few. They're still coming in, right? That's why I'm not being coy or anything. They are coming in. We are getting reports from our attorneys. I am trying to give you as much information as possible without, overstating any claims. They are coming in from our attorneys. They are coming in from our polling station diaries. The election took place yesterday. We got certain numbers, certain things had to happen within a time frame. For example, the request for the recount had to happen within a certain time frame. We will continue as we go along, but the goal here is to keep you appraised of the situation as it stands now, which I did.
So basically, this will be a long process. I mean, this will be going on for a long period. Would there be any swearing in of MPs that they, why these things are happening?
Well, the recounts will take place between today and tomorrow, and we would have the close of that particular part of it between today and tomorrow, and then we'll go from there. Yes?
Or irregularities, so you'll pick them up at all 39 seats that you're contesting, or in that same 39 would have been seats?
Well, I did, okay. We said we picked up irregularities across several seats. As I said before, I have to go through lists. I don't want to say that it's all 39. Don't put me in a position to presume things, right? What I said was, we looked at it. The information is coming in. As it stands right now, we have irregularities across several seats, but we have requested recounts in 5 seats, and we await the results of those recounts. Yes?
Can you give us an idea of how close were the figures in those seats?
Offhand, I think San Fernando was with 1,500 or something like that. La Hoquetata Para about 600-700. Yeah. Again, again too, right? After declarations were made and whatnot, polling divisions were still coming in, right? I think I have one outstanding polling division in my constituency. Some numbers are not even in yet. So yeah. 19. Yes. Yes. 18, yeah. 18, yeah. Not for you, yeah. Yes. Yes.
You all have preliminary data on the turnout yesterday?
We're still processing that information.
Do you at all feel the pandemic has to do anything with the turnout, any numbers you all have seen?
Once we get the data, we will provide an analysis. We have no issues with that. Because on one hand you're asking me about, we'll talk about the pandemic, and on the other hand we're talking about the voter turnout in Gulfview and having people wait 4 hours. I mean, we saw for ourselves people lined up and waiting. Whether or not the process was slow, that kind of thing, we will provide a clear analysis, but we want to do this in a very deliberate fashion. This isn't any sort of fear-mongering. We're not jumping the gun on anything here. We're saying these are the things that we have seen. This is the process that we have embarked upon, and we will continue to keep the public abreast of the situation. Yeah? Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Put back on my mask now. Not you.